Hello and welcome to my session. This is going to be a recording of our first session of building your personal brand. My name is Uzoma Obidike and I will be your presenter for this series. And as you know, we are sponsored by the Northwest Indiana Influential Women Association, and I am the founder of She Leads Beautifully. So thank you all for being part of this summer certificate series. We are going to start off today with establish your personal brand. Next week is going to be package your personal brand. And then the final week will be showcase your personal brand. For today and week one, establish your personal brand. In today's workshop, we're going to cover what a personal brand is and why you need one, how to identify your target audience, as well as how to begin drafting your personal brand story. So we're going to cover these three areas today. Remember to download this week's workbook. You can have it with you as you are going through the sessions. I'm not going to walk you through all the questions in the workbook. There will be a few that I'll have you do during the session today, but otherwise you'll have homework to do the rest on your own. A bit about me. Again, my name is Uzoma Obidike, and I am a certified career advisor and the founder of She Leads Beautifully. Through this platform, I teach women in stalled careers how to network to their dream jobs. I mainly focus on career transitions, and the three areas I cover are career clarity, personal branding, and relationship management. I'm also an assistant professor for career development at National Louis University in Chicago. I'm a doctoral candidate in higher education leadership at Indiana State University. And my goal is to get done this year. So I have a full plate, but I'm making it work out. And then last but not least, I am the 2019 Up and Coming Woman of the Year in Education for the Influential Women of Northwest Indiana Awards. And I'm so proud. I like to keep my little and very heavy trophy or award with me here on my desk. So it's a great reminder of the wonderful organization and the impact that they are having on our community. All right, so who is in the room? Obviously, this is a recording, so hopefully we'll meet next week and I'll get to know who you are, your location, whether or not you're a career professional or job seeker, business owner, or both. And then perhaps you can take some time to think about what are you most known for in your current circles? So what are you known for amongst your friends and family? And what are you known for in the professional world, in your workspace, in your business? So take some time to think about that. And if you're not really sure, then there's some activities that you can do to help you get clear on that and to be sure that you're being known for the right thing. Okay, so what is a personal brand and why do you need one? So I like to start with activities. I always feel as though examples are great ways to help everyone to help hone in on a point or a topic. And so I want to play this fun game. And what we did in our workshop was to go through and say all the things that come to you when you see this person's face. So I'll wait a few moments to see what you can think of. If you want to write it down or say it out loud in your space, you can certainly do that. So if you thought of this person's name as The Rock, perhaps the person's real name is Dwayne Johnson. He's a wrestler, he's an actor, he's a father, all the things, right? So the person has pivoted from one career into another, and so is known for a variety of things right now. There's probably some more that you can think of, so go ahead and write them down if you feel the need to do so. And then what we can do, if you want, you can pause this, so that way I won't have you waiting here on hold for a really long time, but who is this person? So you can go ahead and put it on pause and think of all the things that come to mind for you when you think of this individual. Let me guess, first thing did you say was her name? So Beyonce, was it that she's a singer, a mother? Her daughter's name is Blue Ivy, she has twins, She's married to Jay-Z. She has a clothing line called Ivy Park. She's done, commercials or advertisements with like Pepsi and L'Oreal in the past. Tons of things. I think I said entertainer, all of the above, right? So really influential. There's what else is out there about Beyonce? There's the Beehive. So those who are really into, being part of her tribe, right? So there's that. How about this person? This is one of our favorites. This is Homer Simpson from the cartoon The Simpsons. The first thing that everyone put in the chat yesterday or the other day was dope. He eats donuts. He works at a nuclear plant. He's married to Marge. His son is Farge. He has two other daughters, Lisa and is it Maggie? And he drinks beer. He's lazy. Tons of things, right? So this is a character. So as you can see that you have The Rock, you have Beyonce, you have a cartoon character. They all have brands, right? And they're all known for something. And so it was really important to see that it doesn't matter who you are, that there is a brand. How about this character? Oh, wait, it's not a character. They're pointing right at you. So what if your name was being mentioned in rooms, maybe at work amongst your peers, maybe at a local event and people were talking about you and your name came up. Maybe you are or just had a job interview. And so the committee is discussing who you are, right? In addition to your skills and expertise, but just your overall brand, or maybe you're hoping to get promoted at work. So all the decision makers are all in one room and they're bringing up names of people who they are considering for promotions. What are they going to say about you? What if you were a business owner and you had a product or service and your potential clients or customers were, looking for referrals on the person who sells the best water or, body lotion, whatever, and your name comes up, what are they going to say about you, right? So all the words that will come down the screen or on your mind or on your paper as you're beginning to flow these out, what is it that they're going to say about you, right? I could even walk out of here right now and you can talk amongst, if you're watching this with someone or amongst, peers and say, okay, just from the few minutes I've been on with you right now, you can already make up your mind about who I am based on what I've showcased you today. If you know me in real life, you might have some things to say about me from what you know about me in real life. Maybe you're in my Facebook group and you've watched my Facebook Lives and you've seen my posts that come through on the feed or even on LinkedIn, for example. You already have some things about me that you can say automatically that just comes off the top of your head without even really knowing me very well, right? So you already have a brand, whether you like to think so or not, you already have one and people already have impressions of you based on fact or even just based off of perception. Your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. This is a quote by Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. This is one of my favorite explanations of personal branding. So I just said that if I stepped out, right, or if you weren't in the room, what are people saying about you? So it could be your name, it can be how you dress, the way you wear your hair, the way you make people feel when they experience you. It can be, the job that you hold right now, your job title. It can be where you live. It can be, the pets you have, the children, the spouse, the family, where you've traveled. All of the things that make up who you are, that is your brand. Okay, it is your reputation. 72% of recruiters use or plan to use LinkedIn to source high quality job candidates. And this is something that is really important now, especially as we're coming towards a post-pandemic world, that we are looking, employers are looking for candidates who are high quality, they can do the work, they're planning to stay for a while, they are invested in the organization, right? And so employers are coming out now and they're using social media and they're sourcing, actually looking for candidates to come in, especially now when people are leaving their jobs, there's a lot of vacancies and employers are saying that they're having a hard time finding quality candidates. They're actually really out there going and looking, right? Or you might have people who are within your network who work at certain organizations that have openings and that they know that there are openings available. If your brand is not solid and you're not showing up in your spaces where, like your LinkedIn, for example, or even in your social circles where people within your network can actually say, oh yeah, I know somebody who'd be great for that, right? Then you're missing out on an opportunity. So you need to really show up and showcase your brand in a way that you can be found by recruiters, but also as you are networking, that brand will follow you and make people actually want to connect with you. Okay. The brand called You is an article that came out in 1997 by Tom Peters in the Fast Company magazine. So if you want or have ever heard about personal branding and thought it was a new thing, it's been around for a while. And it's kind of one of the first places where personal branding really came to be. So essentially, you are a brand of you. You know, sometimes people think about, we ask you, well, tell me about yourself. And the first thing you say is, well, I am the director of ABC at XYZ company, right? We're always attached to our company, we're attached to our job title, but you are more than your job title. You might be part of a nonprofit organization, perhaps a sorority, maybe you are doing other things, you might have a small business, and you have a daytime job, you have all the things, right? Mom, wife, sister, daughter, all the things. And so you are more than just your job title. So you want to be sure that you have a brand that showcases all of you, right? And depending on who you're talking to, your brand may, not that it will shift, but you will only showcase the parts that matter to your audience. We're going to talk about audience a little bit more. But I wanted to share this with you so you understand that branding has been around for a while. And if you don't grasp it, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. Okay. And if you're a business owner, 1/3 of consumers buy from brands they trust. They are 2 times more likely to stay loyal to brands, even when there are new or more competitive brands on the scene. A perfect example is the iPhone. A lot of people are really into iPhone. That is their Apple product, like all the things. Apple is like iPads and Apple Macs. I'm not really an Apple person, so I don't know all the right words for them. But for me, I am really big on a Samsung. I have my Samsung iPhone. I'm sorry, my Samsung phone, which is an Android, pardon me. And I don't really care if there is the newest iPhone out there. I'm always going to be loyal to Android. I actually had an iPhone briefly to play around with Clubhouse, and I was like, I don't really like this. It's not user friendly, and it's not my Android. So and even though people say that, oh yeah, iPhones have like 3 million different cameras and it's so awesome and all the things, like it's not going to make me change from why I like Android. So that's a great example. But when there's people behind the brand, especially, and there's someone who has their own personal mission, they have a story, right, that their consumers can connect with. A lot of times the buyers will really want to buy from you because they like you. They feel like they know you, they feel like they can trust you, and they like you, right? So there's the know, like, and trust factor. And so when they have a connection to the person behind the brand, they're more likely to actually buy. So for example, if you look at Rihanna's Savage by Fenty lingerie line, or even her Fenty beauty makeup line that came out a few years ago, and also Jessica Alba with the Honest Company. I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day, the Victoria's Secret brand, I mean, it's always been known as having this like supermodel fantasy, woman who wore a certain kind of lingerie. If you watch their Victoria's Secret fashion show, which I think is like no longer really a thing, or at least it's not really popular anymore, because people are realizing that yes, they're beautiful women, beautiful bodies, and beautiful shapes. However, those are not the only types of beautiful bodies and shapes, right? There are other women out here in the world who have different sizes and shapes, and they also want to wear lingerie that they look and feel good in. And so Rihanna has created Savage by Fenty, which her models and her fashion shows are showing variety of body types, women of different abilities. Also, I know there's a woman who was in a wheelchair in one of her ads, and it just showed like every type of woman and not just one type of woman. So for those people who feel like, I didn't feel seen or heard, or like Victoria's Secret was marketing to me, then they find Fenty and go, wow, well, I'm going to go ahead and support this brand because she is looking out for all of us, right? Even with her makeup line, same thing, looking to cover all the shades of beauty and not just, 2 or 3 shades of brown, right? Like I've had that struggle where I want to find makeup and I can't find that at some of these major brands because they don't really have a wide selection. But with Fenty, there's tons of them, so I feel included, okay? Now, with the Honest Company, you have Jessica Alba, who is focused really on sustainable products and healthy and safe products. So if you have young children like I do, maybe you don't trust the Johnson and Johnsons and all the other brands because you don't really know what they're putting in their products, right? But with her brand, you hear her story, you hear her mission, and you're like, you know what? I want to support this because It's going to make me feel comfortable and safe in the kind of products that I'm using for my family and my children. Okay, so in this case here, identify your target audience. So the two examples I shared with you, Rihanna knows her audience, Jessica Alba knows her audience. So for you, you would want to do the same when you are looking to showcase your personal brand, okay? So if we all decided to meet for Chipotle after this workshop today, how would you get there? And the first thing that comes to most people's mind is I'll just hop in my car and I'll go and meet you for Chipotle. That's if you like Chipotle. I do most of the time if they make it right. But usually you would say, I'm looking to get in the car and I'm going to go and get Chipotle, right? So if you're a car maker and you want to make a car for anybody who just wants to go off and get some food, it really doesn't matter what that car looks like, right? But if you're a car maker and you are trying to sell a particular kind of feature and you know that this feature is really good, the feature has to match the audience and what the audience needs or desires, right? So you can't just make any car for any kind of person because different people have different needs and will want different types of features and benefits that car provides. So for example, if you need a vehicle that is safe and reliable for your daily commute to work, it needs to be fuel efficient or eco-friendly. What will you be driving? Okay, so the examples that came up from our session was cars like a Toyota, maybe a hybrid, maybe a Tesla, maybe a Honda, right? A lot of these names that we know are for like safety and reliability cars. Yeah, those are the kind of cars that are really good with fuel efficiency or like being eco-friendly. I know Teslas are all electric run, so you don't need to have gas, and so you're good there. Okay, how about if you have small children and need a vehicle that is safe and spacious enough for everyone and all their things? Maybe they're a little bit older children who are playing soccer or going to camp and you need to put all their stuff and lunch and balls and gear and all the things. What will you be driving? So some of the responses that we received was a minivan, perhaps an SUV. People mentioned minivan because it's easy to slide the door open and climb in through the back. There's good storage in the back. Someone mentioned a 3-seater like a Suburban. I know my mom has a Sequoia, right? And so she's always toying around and tugging around all the grandkids and all the adults. We all want to go together. So we fit in the Sequoia that has the 3 rows, okay? So not just any car, a car that would meet these particular needs, okay? You want to drive something that is customizable, of the best quality, and that is luxurious. Budget is not really an issue for you, so it's time to treat yourself. What will you be driving? So I know for me, one of my favorite cars is a Mercedes-Benz. Our family has always been a Mercedes. It's been like a staple in our family household. Like I'm Nigerian, and like that was the car like back in the day growing up. I know some people in the group have mentioned BMW, there was Lexus, there was Audi, Tesla was in the list as well. So if you're thinking about heading on to the Influential Woman Awards that will be coming up in September, and you want to bring your fanciest self and your fanciest car, what will you be driving, right? It's a really cool example here. If you want to show up and show out, and maybe you have 2 cars in the household, you have your everyday driving car and you have your luxury like going out car, like that's awesome too. Okay, last one is you work in an industry where you need to tow or haul heavy loads. Sometimes you may need to drive through rough terrain. What will you be driving? And in this case here, some examples that came up was Jeep. There are a lot of Jeeps in there. I actually have a Jeep right now. I don't ride in rough terrain, but it actually works for me. Let's see, people mentioned like a minivan, a pickup truck, right? So a Ford, those kind of cars that are meant for doing this kind of work. And you can see, so if you are a business owner and you want to connect with your right audience, you have to just not think about like what are you selling overall and the messaging that you put out there, but you have to really attract the right person for whatever it is that you're selling. And even as a person, your own personal brand also has to showcase something that they can connect with, right? So maybe you are in the business of selling, cars, right? But you want to sell to families. So the stories that you tell are going to be related to families, right? So you can attract the right people. If you're a job seeker and you are wanting to work for a college or university, I use an example because I work in college and universities, and I want the employers to see me as the right candidate for this job, then I need to be really talking about things that are related to higher education, related to, students and having a hard time with, high tuition rates and things like that. If it's important to me and it's part of my brand, then that's what I'm going to talk about. And the things that I talk about are going to attract the right kinds of employers or those who are going to be able to refer me for these kinds of opportunities. Okay. So your audience and who you're talking to, who you're going to be showcasing your personal brand to is really important. You need to know who they are before you begin to showcase your brand. Okay. So employers are looking for a certain type of employee. Job seekers are looking for a specific kind of type a specific type of job, benefits, and work environment, right? So you're looking for a job that is remote. You're looking for, six-figure salary. You're looking for the certain kind of company like Google or Apple, right? The employer is looking for someone who has a bachelor's degree, someone who has like 5 years of experience, someone who has experience doing Photoshop, right? So everyone has their own needs or desires and they're looking for their people. For businesses, if you're a business out here, you might be looking for a certain kind of customer or clients. If you own a gym, you're looking for someone who is looking to be in shape, right? If you're a consumer, you are seeking products and services that solve a specific need or offer something that you really desire. So do you desire to have, hair that doesn't frizz? So you want to find a product that is anti-frizz. Maybe you're looking for a service, you're looking for your dream job, and you want to find a career coach who can help you find that job, right? So these are some things that consumers are looking for. Okay, so as you're thinking about your audience, so who you're going to be showcasing your personal brand to, you want to focus on a specific need. So something that they don't have and they are just craving to have it, right? There's a pain point. They're struggling with something and they don't know how to get past it, or they don't know how to get help for it, right? Or like for employers, for example, they're looking for someone to come in here and like fix their diversity and inclusion issues that they're having, and then you are that expert that can come in there and do that, then that's what you want to focus on, right? What is that need of that organization? Or if they have a desire, if they really are looking for something, more positive. So like a need can be a negative, or a desire can be more of a positive, so something that they're desiring to have, right? So there's those two things that you can focus on. Okay, so on page 2 of your workbook, I would love for you to go ahead and answer these 2 questions. So you can work on these right now, or you can do it on your own time. So in your current work, who do you provide service to, or who would you ideally like to provide service to? So maybe you're looking to make a career transition and you are moving to a different direction. So for a business owner, this question here probably is much more clear to you. If you're a job seeker, you might be like, okay, well, who do I want to provide service to, right? Me being in education, I want to service college students, right? I'm a career coach. I want to service women who are in stalled careers. Those are 2 very specific audiences. If I'm talking to an employer and I'm using language that I want to communicate with them, we're going to go really into messaging in next week's session, so I won't go too much into that. But you want to be sure that at least you have a general idea of who you're talking to. So in this case here, your primary audience, right, is the college student or perhaps the person who's seeking the job. Okay, number 2 is who do you need to know in order to reach this person or these people? So if you are a job seeker wanting to work in higher ed, maybe faculty or administration, okay, maybe you want to teach the college students, but you're not going to go and sell to them, like sell yourself to them, like, hey, I'm a professor. How can I reach you one-on-one, right? No, you're going to communicate with the universities and colleges, right? So who are the decision makers at those colleges and universities? Who also works there that can refer you for a job, right? Something like that. So your audience might be the college students, but it will also be the actual employer themselves. It can be people who work there. It can be your cousin who works at a university. It can be a friend. So really think about your broad audience and who you're going to be showcasing this to, right? So this is kind of your starting point, and we'll delve deeper into this next week. All right, so develop your personal brand story. Stories create connection, they build trust, and they sell. Think of your favorite stories. Think of the stories that people tell you about anything, right? I don't watch a lot of TV, but I hear stories all the time about all the great shows that are out on Netflix. And for as long as I didn't even have Netflix, I was like, oh, I got to get Netflix so I can go watch that show, right? So think of those kind of stories. And you see people on Facebook and they'll put a post and say, oh my God, did you watch that episode last night of Game of Thrones or This Is Us or Insecure or whatever show or movie is out there? People will comment and everyone has like a whole thread of all the things that they're sharing about that show or movie. Even now on Clubhouse, the app, people are actually creating whole rooms where people can come in and have conversations and talk about the latest Real Housewives drama, or the reunion or whatever on Clubhouse. Like stories create connection, right? They build trust where you say, you know what, I want to check in with you next week to see if you watched it. Let's talk about it together. And they sell. If you're the maker of the movie, the story, the plot, all of that, the trailers you see on YouTube or even on the commercials, that's what sells the story. Okay, so stories like The Little Mermaid, Coming to America, and Harry Potter. We all like have some kind of attachment to some of these stories. Maybe you have your own movie of preference that you can put in here, but you just know that they build that kind of connection. I can talk with anybody who was born in my generation and they will tell you like, yes, Little Mermaid was one of my favorite cartoons growing up, or The Lion King, right? Maybe watching Coming to America, people within my age group also will say, yes, that was one of my favorite movies. And they were so happy to see that it came out like this year or last year, and that they had the Coming to America Part 2. They wanted to see all the characters again, and it was some kind of nostalgia that brought back memories, all of that. Harry Potter fans, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I've never watched the movie, but Harry Potter fans come together, like people get in costume and they have like 13, this house or that house or whatever that comes with Harry Potter. Like you understand that there is some kind of connection that you have. So stories really sell, they bring you together, okay? Your personal story will create connection, build trust, and attract opportunity. So just like a story for a movie or TV show, your personal story will create connection, build trust, and attract opportunities. There's that quote, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but people will remember, they won't remember what you said or what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel. A lot of times your story, when you tell a story, like a lot of these speakers, graduation speakers, you hear about them all the time, and they'll tell a really great story, and that's what connects. That's what helps these graduates feel like, you know what? I feel empowered. I want to go graduate and go be great in the world. Those stories and how you make people feel will make them say, you know what? I want to stay connected with you. How can I follow you? How can I work with you? All of those things. All right. Think about the brand Tom's. Tom's was is a shoe company that their mission used to be for every shoe that they would sell, they would go ahead and donate one shoe to a country, a developing country that had that need, right? They've since evolved it over time because they realized that it wasn't really as helpful for the community because people were not buying from their local shoemakers. And so it actually made things worse than actually better. So you'll see that they've evolved their story now, and they are now committing a third of their profits for grassroots good and supporting people within their local community. So it's okay to have one story in one season of your life, and then that story kind of evolves and changes as you move into a new story. That's okay. And that's what happened with Tom's, right? So people now wanting to buy their shoe versus any other shoe because they are connected to their mission. They're like, you know what? I want to buy from a company and support a company that does good for local communities. Okay, here is the former First Lady, Michelle Obama. When she was in office, she had a number of missions and things that she really placed focus on. One of them was to really help young children to focus on healthy food, nutrition, just being well overall. And I'm sure this is still a mission and something that's important for her, but now that she's no longer in the White House and is shifting to focusing on new ventures and really building her personal brand outside of being the First Lady, you'll see now she has her book called Becoming. There's a journal to go with it. There was a documentary that went along with that. And so now she has a new story, and that's on her website that tells readers about her challenges and the struggles she went throughout her life. And now she's on the other side of that. And she wants to help others to do the same, right? To embrace the things that they went through and make the best of it in their lives. So that's her story, right? That's kind of her mission right now. And so it really is showing not only like telling her story for her, but it's showing how it can help others as well. And so that's kind of where you want to be when you are talking about your story. So you don't have to be a large shoe company like Tom's or be the former First Lady like Michelle Obama. You can be inspirational in your own circle, right? Remember your audience, who you're talking to. showcases the kind of mission that you want to have and how you want to give back. And that is what's going to sell. In addition to all your expertise, in addition to your education, in addition to all those things, having this as part of your personal brand will elevate you further, make you more memorable, and make you referable, and make you hireable. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so where are you going to be sharing your personal story? You are going to share your personal story pretty much everywhere, wherever your audience is. Okay, so if you're a career professional, you can share portions of your story in your resume summary, in your cover letter, in your cover letter, in your LinkedIn headline, in your LinkedIn about section, your personal website, your digital portfolio, posts on social media, in a job interview when you're having that conversation back and forth, networking conversations, and so much more. Okay. As a business owner, you can be sharing your story on your website homepage, your actual about page on your website, social media captions, paid advertisements, email newsletters, podcast interviews, blog posts, networking conversations, and so much more. So how to tell your personal brand story? Well, there are so many ways to tell stories. I know there's no one way to tell a story, but I do know like a lot of movie makers follow the Finding Nemo, like they have like an actual formula for telling a story. And so if you follow Finding Nemo and all like the Pixar cartoons, they all kind of follow the same formula. So if formulas will really help you to create something from scratch without creating it from scratch. And so I created a formula for you to really help you to tell a story by connecting it to your personal mission, right? So you may not have a personal mission right now. You're probably like, I don't really know what my life's mission is. That's okay. I have it in the workbook for you to go through that and kind of take some time to work on that. And just something to note is that your personal mission doesn't have to be your forever mission or your only one, right? You're only telling one part of your story to one significant audience, right? So you might have a different story to tell over here. You have 2 or 3 different versions of your story based on the details that you want to share. So don't overthink this. We're doing a draft for right now. Okay. So what is your personal mission? What kind of impact do you want to leave on the world, right? And then what are 1 to 3 significant life or career events that connect to this mission? So things that happened in your childhood, things that happen maybe in your teenage years, things that occurred to you maybe when you were in college or in your early 20s, things that happened to you when in your first jobs, maybe as you got married or had children or any of those kind of things. What are some things that happened to you in your life that connect to that personal mission? What are those things that happen that make you say, you know what, I want to devote my life to this, or I want to devote a portion of my life to this. I want to devote my career to this, right? Think about those kind of things within that area. And then what are your 3 strengths, or what are 3 of your strengths? What are your superpowers? So if you're thinking about people who are looking for the same job as you, or customers or clients who are going and can find any company who sells the same thing that you do, what are 3 things that you do differently, right? Even if it's not differently, the combination of those 3 are not going to be the same combinations of the other companies or the other job seekers. So what are those 3 things that make you different? Number 4, what is the benefit for your target audience? So you can talk about your mission and how awesome, you are and the great things that you want to do in the world, but what does it have to do with the person that you're telling the story to? What's in it for them, right? Make sure that there is a benefit for them, that they can see the value in your story and who you are and what you bring to the table. So these are the 4 areas for this particular framework for telling your story. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of mine. And this is just a portion of my story, right? I can go into more detail, I can make it shorter, but I followed, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? Give me 1 second and grab a sip of water. So my mission is to teach college students and women, hold on, my Zoom screen is blocking, we'll bring that out the way. My mission is to teach college students and women in stalled careers how to gain access to their dream jobs so that they can do impactful work that they love while having the quality of life they desire. Throughout my career, I always seem to stumble into opportunities, from learning about my master's and doctoral programs to getting contacted by employers about job openings on LinkedIn. I always felt so lucky. It wasn't until I began to trace my steps that I began to see how my simple actions of being clear on my career goals having a solid personal brand, and nurturing my network all led to me creating instances for chance opportunities to occur. Now, my goal is to teach my college students and my clients how to do the same as they navigate their careers. Okay, so super easy, super simple. If I was to add to this, I will probably say more about, why I chose college students as my target, why I chose women in solid careers. Like there's other stories for that as well. But in this short paragraph here, few paragraphs, I wanted to kind of simplify and give you an example of how to tell your story, right? So this is my story. So now it's your turn to go ahead and do the same on page 3 of your notebook or your workbook. In your lifetime, number 1, what type of impact do you want to leave behind? What is your life's mission? Again, if you don't have something that is a life's mission, which sounds too intimidating, you can bring it down. Like, what is important to you right now? Right now, this month, this year, what is important to you, and start there, right? It's okay if tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, like a year from now, you change that or you pivot, that's okay. But focus on what's important to you right now and start there, okay? And why is this important to you? There has to be a why. There has to be a root of this, so that way it really is impactful not only for you, but those who you're going to be sharing it with, okay? And then what are 3 significant life or career events that you can link back to your mission? And then what lessons did you learn? So go into your workbook and answer all the questions, do the deep work. I promise you, when you do the deep work and really figure out who you are today, your personal brand today, that will really help you to open the doors for tomorrow, whether you're looking for a new job or career, or adding other opportunities to your portfolio, or if you are a business owner looking to attract your ideal clients or your ideal customers. You really have to hone in on who you are, the story that you want to share with the people who it will matter to the most and who they can, will resonate with the most. Okay, so again, your homework is to complete this week's workbook, and then we'll come back next week with week 2. Meanwhile, let's connect online if we're not already connected. The easiest way to find me is by following my hashtag or searching my hashtag, She Leads Beautifully. I spend a lot of time in my Facebook group, the hashtag She Leads Beautifully Lounge, and I'm also on LinkedIn, so come connect with me there. I would love to connect with you there, and that's where I showcase my personal brand is a lot on LinkedIn. So I would love for you to do the same. So let me know how you're doing with your progress. Okay, so this wraps up part 1 of our series for Establish Your Personal Brand was today. Next week is going to be Package Your Personal Brand. And then our final week will be Showcase Your Personal Brand. All right, so thank you so much for your time today. I wish you all the best as you work through the workbook for week 1, and I'll see you next week. Take care.